Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever. Not a long video today. Just wanted to give you guys a channel update. I usually do this, in particular, the beginning of a new year, and I kind of want to keep that tradition going on the channel. Update you guys on what we're looking forward to in 2025. I talked about this earlier in a previous video, as well as throughout the year. There are some changes that I want to make. Um, when it comes to the channel, I kind of given you guys a taste of it last year from the midway point of 2024, moving forward to 20, heading into 2025. And that's not going to change. I'm going to continue to actually do more videos for the things that I like, the things that interest me, things that some of you guys do not like, and I totally understand that. So what I'm going to do is organize everything a little bit better on my channel so that you guys can pick and choose what you guys want to listen to and what you don't want to listen to. Because case in point, again, I appreciate everybody's commentary. A lot of you guys that I know personally talking to me about doing the political stuff on the channel. Um, you know, before the channel before was Xbox All In, and then I changed it into the All In channel a couple years ago because I wanted to talk about stuff that's pertaining to pop culture, not just video games. And then on top of that, I always wanted to talk about politics. But I guess this year for me, it felt like a little bit more of a right time to introduce that into the channel. I actually thought about getting a Rumble account, if I'm being honest, and just doing politics over there. But I already have a hard time finding time doing these videos on YouTube, let alone trying to do it on Rumble. And nothing against Rumble; it's a good format, or it's a good service, right? They do a lot of things there differently than YouTube does, man. As you guys know, YouTube has the algorithm that kind of regulates things that you can and cannot say. Fortunately for me, I am not a huge channel. I'm pretty sure if I was a huge channel, I'd probably get monitored more, which is one of the benefits of being a smaller channel. Even though I did get a copyright strike, surprisingly, when I did my Superman reaction, which I had to delete that video. And it's amazing to me, man, because that's such outdated thinking. When I look at it, I understand that this is the material that the people have created, and they have a right to that. But limiting people's outreach, whether positive or negative, I think is wrong. You guys should allow people to have their say and to use the material because you're already putting it out there for people to consume, right? So even if it's and I know this is becoming a problem when it comes to gaming for a lot of these publishers and people that make the game. Though I will say that you guys just have to make better games. Me personally, um, but I understand how everything works, right? When it comes to property rights and what people feel they have ownership or not. And of course, that's becoming a big debate online with digital rights and stuff like that. And we'll see how that turns out. And that's the case in point, right? I want to talk about stuff like that. So again, what I'm going to do this year when I'm working on the channel is I'm going to keep very cognizant of that, keep that in mind, and then I am going to adjust the channel accordingly. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make the content that I like to make, and I'm going to do the shows the way I want to do them. I do plan on kind of streamlining a lot of the shows that I'm going to do, as far as guests and commentary and things of that nature. Okay, just to make it a little bit more palpable for the audience. The podcast definitely will not change, though, guys. Sorry. Like I say, I had thoughts of kind of scripting it a little bit, kind of making the production value better. I do not want to buy additional equipment because I'm not a big channel, right? I don't feel the need to do that. Maybe if I grew, I might, and even then, I don't know, right? Because it takes a lot of time and energy to do this, and my time and energy I would rather spend playing games. Like yesterday, I found out that Figment, a game on Game Pass, is leaving on the 15th of this month, and I've never got a chance to play it. I remember when the trailer dropped, announcing that it's coming into Game Pass. I definitely had my eye on it. But as you guys know, if you guys have Game Pass, man, one of the problems with Game Pass is that there's so many games, and it's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining, right? It's a great problem. It's better than having a problem of not having any games. When Game Pass first came out, I didn't realize the variety and the amount of titles they're going to be putting in the game service, which is good. That's why they've grown it, and that's why they've been able to keep Game Pass stable over these years because there's so much to offer at a really affordable and valuable price. So kudos to them, dude, and I appreciate that. So like I said, I'd rather have that problem than having a lot of games in there that's just like free to play or there's a gimmicky attachment to the Game Pass service. It is 24/7 games all the time in Game Pass, variety galore, like whatever you want to play. So that's why a lot of people who sit there and bemoan Game Pass, if that's coming out again, right? Saying if Game Pass is feasible. It happens in cycles, guys. We've been dealing with this for 5 years. So in the same way that the narrative that Xbox is dead or Xbox is going to die has been going on since 2013, right? And as an Xbox guy, again, if you bleed green like I do, that's just something that you got to deal with. But again, the proof is in the pudding. If you guys have the console and you're in the ecosystem and you have the service, you know that all of this are just lies. Okay, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. What the only thing that matters is what you focus on, what Microsoft does, and I mean that by Microsoft proper, the actual company that owns Xbox, the Xbox brand. And case in point, I will be focusing that on that a little bit more. There's a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of rumblings, a lot of rumors. I don't put a lot of stock in rumors. When we do discuss rumors, like I told you in our previous podcast that I did with Day of Them, I'm going to treat those rumors from a fanboy perspective, from a fandom perspective, like I used to do way back in the day with uh, any type of area of pop culture that I occupy, right? Whether it's movies, comics, video games, it's all in one for me, right? And I like the fandom aspect of it. That's discussing rumors, that's discussing things that might not happen, giving your thoughts, giving your opinions, right? All of that. And I'll put the little disclaimer for you guys, man, because I do understand that a lot of people are out there and will come back and say, I thought you guys said this was happening. I was like, no, dude, we're speculating just like everybody else. And that's the key word that needs to be said a lot more. Because a lot of these guys who purport themselves to be insiders, I don't think they know what they're talking about. And they might have somebody in the company, but at the end of the day, dude, there's a group of people that make the decisions, especially when it comes to Microsoft and Xbox, right? And they're the only ones that know. So hey, I don't bemoan people for putting the rumors out there. The only thing I do not like is when the rumors don't come true and people get all psychotic about it, which tends to happen, especially on the Xbox side. Right? A lot of times the stuff gets released out there, they're totally wrong, totally false information. And then the sad thing about it is these people don't follow up on it. Well, and that's the purpose of this channel as well, because we'll follow up for them and then we'll point it out on this channel. Right? Because it's irritating, right? It lends to the narrative of everything that's wrong with Xbox, or Xbox is going away, or there's no reason to get an Xbox. Like you see the videos already, it is the end of the year, the beginning of the new year. And of course, there's a lot of people is Xbox Series X worth having in 2025, right? Those are the videos you see, right? And because of the way the algorithm is on YouTube, they get picked up really quickly, right? So, for example, I know CES is going on, was a little busy at work, went back to the grind, right? So I can't sit here like I have been for the last couple weeks because we had time off from my job, right? Both time that I've taken off and just the way things worked out. Hey, Faded, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show, man. Just a real quick one, man. Just a quick channel update. I'll probably run about half an hour at the most. Um, but yeah, so I did have some time to look into things a little bit more directly, right, and to cover things a little bit more in the fullness of what was going on. And I'm back to the grind, guys. I'm back at work. You know, I got today off because of everything that happened with President Carter, federal holiday, all of that stuff, right? So um, my point being is that a lot of times I don't have the time to laser focus on everything, and that's why a lot of the times when I come on and do a video, it's more like a rant than it is a video. And I'm going to change that on the channel this year too. There's a lot of stuff that's positive that's going on with Xbox that needs to be covered. Faded Blaze says, I've seen a lot of ponies coping because they mad because everyone telling them Sony doing TV, which they are. And to be honest, Faded Blaze, that's in Sony's wheelhouse, if I'm being honest. That's what they're known for. That's the reason why I was a big Sony fan back in the day, because of their electronics. And of course, they became the biggest music and studios as in movies and TV. They owned a lot, right? And they put out good stuff, man. And if they're going to course correct to that, right? I think that'll do them well, man. They've had success. They've had success with their movies. I'll just put it that way, as of late. So I mean, they're going back to what they know, and that's the thing, right? Again, talking about the narrative when it comes to video games specifically, right? A lot of people don't question Sony or Nintendo for that fact, right? About the stuff that they do. Everything is 24/7 Xbox, 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 and it's usually a negative slant. Right. But again, like I said on this channel, if you just look at where the news cycle goes, right, everything's cyclical when it comes to the topic of Xbox, especially, right? It's just like you have highs and you have lows. And you have people that create the highs and people that create the lows, right? People that grift onto these things, and then like I was saying just a few minutes ago, when I wanted to look at content pertaining to Xbox, when it came to CES, right? And so when you type it in, like on YouTube, for example, you type in Xbox or Xbox News, man, all the videos you're getting, dude, are mostly negative or slanted Sony or slanted Xbox is doomed. There's very few Xbox videos that'll be put out there that's not biased. Right? And even now, dude, there's people I would follow just for electronics news, and even for video game news, right? And they purport themselves to be centrist type channels, man. But even they buy into the BS because the gaming media, they have to get their information from somewhere, right? And especially when you have these channels that are multi-tiered, like they don't like gaming is not their main focus, right? Though it's part of the equation. So when big news drops, and Microsoft's a big company, with Microsoft being involved with Xbox even more, it's even more so because Microsoft will talk about things, and then Xbox is included, and it runs the financial gamuts, it runs the entertainment gamut, right? All of that stuff, right? And so what ends up happening is that's what these guys are picking up on. But there's a narrative, there's a straight, consistent narrative in all of the reporting, and it tends to trend negative for Microsoft and Xbox, and that's why, right? I tell you guys all the time, don't listen to the gaming media, and then be wary of these people that are putting content on there. Some of these dudes I love. Entertainment wise, dude, I watch their channels, dude. I listen to their podcasts, dude. They're spot on when it comes to movies, when it comes to music, when it comes to television, when it comes to collectibles. But as soon as they step into the gaming realm, which is not their forte, right? Because they don't play video games on the level that we play video games. And most of them probably want a PlayStation or Nintendo and not an Xbox. But they have to talk about Xbox, like with the whole DEI stuff. I think it's important. Like I've explored that on my channel with DEI. I think it's important to talk about that because it is killing the it's killing the pop culture industry, or was, right? But it's become such a sore point within the industry across all genres, right? That you have to have the conversation about it, and it's a good thing that they're pushing back on it, and it's a great thing that it's dying because it needs to go away. Right? In an industry like gaming or movies, music, and any type of entertainment, any type of artistic um, uh, industry, right? You need people that are craftsmen and skillful in what they do. And even when they fail, like if they try and do something or do something new and it doesn't work, and even if they fail, dude, you can garner a lot of that from that failure to make you a better artist, to make you a better producer, to make you be better at your craft, right? And that's been the formula for eons, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Fada. Let me read your comment. There's also rumors of Final Fantasy 7 and 16 to Xbox this year. Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me, right? Square Enix and Xbox or Microsoft has built a pretty strong relationship. I liked it last year when Phil Spencer went up on stage in Vegas to reassure a lot of people who want to play Final Fantasy 7. I tell you guys, I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy, but there's people that own the console, right? That want Final Fantasy 7 on their consoles, and that's fine with me. I might pick up the old school Final Fantasy. I remember those back in the day. But that's not my go-to franchise. But I'm happy for people that are going to get it, and I'm happy that the industry is beginning to realize. Look, if you're telling us, and look, it's their property; they can do whatever they want. But if they're bemoaning the fact that they're not making money, and they're bemoaning the fact that nobody's buying the games, right? You have to take your game and put it as many places as possible. If that's your goal, if your goal is sell more units, you have to go where the market is, right? And there's people that are just predominantly uh, on one console over the other or on PC, right? So if that worries you or that bothers you, you have to go towards, you have to become multi-platform. And I'm not saying you look, and I'll tell you guys this, dude. I don't care. At the end of the day, dude. Like I said, and I'll reiterate that since this is a channel update, right? I'll reiterate this. Man. My channel exists primarily for the things I like to do, and when it comes to gaming, it's all about Xbox, right? Hey, what's up, Prime, brother? Hey, man, I've been watching your videos, man. Hey, sorry what happened to you the other day, brother. You know how this world is, man. We progress, but there's always idiots out there, bro. You handle your business, man. Been liking your content, dude. Hey, if you need to talk, just let me know. And by the way, man, if you want to be on the podcast, let me know too, man. I'll bring you on. I'm gonna be a little bit more organized this year. That's why I'm doing this. The podcast will be on Saturday mornings as opposed to Friday evenings, and I will have a set lineup of people, right? Um, but I'll get to that later on in the video. Well, welcome, Prime man. Love you, brother. Happy New Year, man. Faded Blazes. Ubisoft planning to sell if AC fails. Yeah, and I've been hearing the rumors about that, right, with Ubisoft, that they're some people say that they're forcing it, so that the family can actually earn all the shares and then they can sell who they want to. Which I don't blame. Look, dude, I don't blame them, man. They want to make games a certain way, right? Let them do it. At the end of the day, dude. I mean, it's no different from what they've been doing all these years, right? What happened was the politics of gaming changed, faded, where people became sensitive to the DEI stuff, right? For good reason too. I don't like that stuff at all. But if that's what they want to do, that's more power to them. I mean, I think that might end up ruining them, whether fair or not, right? But I mean, Ubisoft to me, Ubisoft has always done. They've always done things the way they've wanted to do it, and some of their greatest creative, some of the greatest games that they've made and they've created have come out of that genius. I just think that they're barking up the wrong tree right now. This is not the time. And it also doesn't help is when you become defensive and you start whether the fans are wrong or not, man. Look, dude, I'm old school, guys. I'm old. That's the way I was raised, dude. The customer is always right, and there's a reason. There's a method to that. There's a truth to that, right? Because at the end of the day, you want their money. So like, make what you want to make, dude. Look, dude, I make content on this channel that I want to make now. And I'm going all in, man. In 2025, I want to do the stuff on this channel that I want to make because that's the only thing that's going to keep this channel going for me. Because at the end of the day, I got to make the content, and if I'm not enjoying the stuff I'm making, then what's the sense of doing this? I'd rather spend my time getting mad playing COD because the connection is bad or people are cheating. Still love the game though. In fact, I'll talk about COD. Like, I'll do a video specifically on COD and how I play it, right? Because I see a lot of people, they're like, I'm quitting the game. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. When I go in, dude, if there's people I feel that are cheating, and you can tell because they don't even hide it anymore because there's no repercussions when you play COD and you're cheating, right? That I'll just drop out of the game. I don't care. Sometimes I'll come into a game halfway, and then within minutes I drop because I know why. There's a reason why I'm coming in halfway because other people have dropped on the game. And a lot of it's not just cheating. Some of it's just connection speed. There's no sense in me playing a game. Like I was playing the other day, and I understand there's stuff going on. I live in Hawaii, guys, so a lot of our stuff runs through California as far as our connections and stuff like that, right? And so there's a lot of stuff going on in LA right now. You guys know we've been watching the news. And so, dude, I was having like 107, 125 connection speeds, right? And I was like, oh, dude, I can't. No, we ain't doing this. In fact, what I might do, man, is I might go all in on Starlink. I don't know how good their service would be for me here in the islands, but if it's a better option, I'll definitely go with that because the cable company who I get my internet through, I'm almost at the point of paying for internet with no cable, guys. I'm a cord cutter. I'm almost at that point where um, I'm almost paying the same prices that made me cut the cable in the first place. I keep on raising the price, right? Economy, right? I live in a blue state that all gets factored in, right? But I mean, it's ridiculous. So at this point, man, I don't know if I'm because I only need the internet. I don't need anything else. Dude, cable to me is dead. Cable's been dead for a long time. And then I hear all these people talking about the streaming stuff, and I'll do this on a pop culture podcast. I'm bringing that back, by the way, All in Pop. We'll talk about this, the All in Popcast, and where people are getting fed up with streaming services. I'm like, dude, they give you choice. You don't just like anything else, man. This is what I don't understand about people nowadays, right? When they complain about this stuff, is that there's an option and there's a choice. You might not like the option, you might not like the choice, right? But you still have it, right? So you don't have to pay for it. What I think it is that these guys actually want it, but they don't want to pay for it, or there's various reasons why they don't want to keep the service that bothers them. So that's something that's personal, man. That's something that you got to deal with. I have no problem cutting the cord on stuff, and I'm talking across the board, man. You guys heard me rant about Disney, right? I used to have Disney Plus, dude, because I was looking forward to the content that they were going to bring out when it came to Disney, on top of the stuff that they have in the library, right? Because I'm a huge Disney fan. And to me, it was worth the price of admission. And again, if you guys remember, it started off at $7.99. I knew it would go up, but what they started off to do and what they actually gave you was not good. And then on top of that, they wouldn't course correct, and then they had the nerve to turn around and charge you more, right? So I just canceled it, dude. That's what I do. I just walk away, right? And you look, and no hate. In fact, kudos to the guys who sit in there and take it like a champ, right? That do that kind of stuff. But yeah, faded. I don't. Dude, next month, I guess Assassin's Creed. What's the name of it? The one in Japan. Yeah, good luck with that, dude. It could sell well, but I mean, all indications saying that thing's gonna flop. So if that was there, if that's, I think what it is that they're looking at it clearly. So that could they're course correcting if the game doesn't do well. What can they do to benefit off of it and to help basically save their company? Man, I know they're in dire straits right now. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I mean, I might talk about it. I don't know. I know Lemon is looking forward to playing the game. So I'll just look at see what he says about it. Again, Ubisoft. I told you guys in a previous video. One of the reasons I don't really like Assassin's Creed is because of the whole Templar stuff. Um, but that's a video for another time. So, but yeah, as far as the channel, again, getting back to that, moving forward, I will be focusing. Will be course correcting. Um, I won't be scripting the podcast, but what I will be doing is being a little bit more selective because I might have to. I don't know, dude. StreamYard. I haven't. I mean, I don't really use it, guys. One of the reasons I have StreamYard is that we can get a lot of people on the podcast, but a lot of times it's hard, right? Where my location is. I don't know. I might go the route of downsizing on StreamYard. I'm not sure. But definitely for the podcast, I will do you guys a favor of having regular people on there, right? And then if we have a special guest, for example, Prime, man, if you want to come in, no problem, right? But I want to try and keep it a core set of people. Also, I'm going to be doing more one-on-ones with people, because a lot of times when we do the podcast, not everybody gets to speak their piece, even though my podcast lasts. That's one of the reasons why my podcast lasts for hours, right? Because people want to talk about what they want to talk about, and I'm the type of person like, yeah, okay, talk your piece, talk about what you want to talk about, and it goes from, dude, the minimum my podcasts are like 4 hours, 3-4 hours minimum, right? But like the last podcast we did, I think was like over 6 hours. Right? And then I'll try, guys. I'll try. I will say this, man, because I did get some complaints about this. Right? Okay, I will try my best to keep everybody on point, on topic. And if we're just gonna have a podcast where we're just gonna talk about it, I'll just make it an open mic. I'll just call it open mic podcast. Okay, like I'll put all in podcast, open mic podcast, right? Which will let you guys know. Look, if you guys want to jump in, we're probably gonna be all over the place, right? But like in the last podcast we did, I know we're supposed to be focusing more on. Dude, I even forgot what that podcast was about. But we and I'm not. I don't mind us doing that because we do it all the time. But for the listeners, man, and then some of you guys in the chat were saying, hey, too many people talking over each other and stuff like that. So, you know, I'll do my best to work on that, guys. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I kind of like that stuff personally. Not from the old Crossfire age of media, but I do understand. I do understand. So I'll work on that as well, and then I'll do more specific content on my channel. Right. Again, I'm gonna be talking way more about politics on the channel. I could probably do a video almost every day if I really wanted to. The reason why I don't is politics shifts so quickly, right? By the time I get a chance to talk about something, the media and the current president or the president elect, I mean, the stuff moves so quickly, right? That it's too. I can't keep up with it, right? And then what I ended up doing is I just pick and choose the ones that are the most important to me, like the one I did the other earlier in the week when I talked about President Trump and a lot of this. That was just a crazy day. He just came out and just basically was like Trump 2016, and he just went ham on everything, right? And if you guys want, you can check out that video on the channel. Um, but because and so that's what I mean, though, right? I would like it to be a little bit more professional. I don't have the time to do that, so that's why I don't cover it in detail. So more stuff will be coming, and I think this is the year. 2025 is the year for all the stuff that I focus on this channel, whether it's entertainment, it's going to be politics, um, and I'm still thinking about doing the faith-based stuff. We'll see how that turns out. Um, 2025 is going to be a big year, right? Again, for the politics, Trump's taking office. Like I said in my previous video, man, that dude went ham. Talking about taking over Greenland, adding Canada as a 51st state. Gulf of America, not Gulf of Mexico, and seizing the Panama Canal, dude. That's nuts. And he did that in one day. There's been talk about that stuff. He's hinted at it. Nobody really took him seriously. But the other day he came out and, like I said, he went ham. He went Trump 2016, and then he just went all in on it. And it was nuts, dude. Because a lot of times when this happens, um, it's crazy. It's crazy. I find more joy out of watching people's reaction to it, and not in a like I'm drinking the tears of people. I mean, honestly, seeing how people react. I like to do that. I like to sit there and watch people react. Both sides, everybody. You know, I'm not. This is not a political thing, dude. It's just it's something that interests me, right? Because I like that kind of stuff, right? And you get a wide gamut of opinions. A lot of people expose themselves right, for who they really are. Um, there's a lot of people that they don't like it. They start talking tough, and then within days they come back and they with a level head because they're all emotional and a level head, and then they really look at the situation and start discussing it logically and not as emotionally charged, which I think is important. And that's one of the things that Trump does. Right, he throws these bombs. He takes up or pops the grenade, throws it in the room, walks out, and let the pieces fly where they were. And then at the end of the day, comes back and then they pick up the pieces. And that's how if you don't know anything about him, that's how he gets a lot of stuff done, and that's how he gets people to react and to get moving on stuff. Right. And look, I'll do a video about Greenland. I was being very facetious on the video that I did, the political video that I did, because I was enjoying it. I was having a good time with it. I don't mean to be. Look, I'm not. It's not that I don't take this stuff seriously. I do, and there's a lot of stuff to look at if you wanted to break it down, which I do. Right, but I just thought it was an amazing thing. That was probably the most entertaining thing I've seen all week. Besides what I'm going to share with you guys, I know I'm running a bit long, but please bear with me. So again, expect some changes. Expect more content. Expect different content. Expect a little bit more scripted content. Not too much, guys. I'm not going to change totally, but I've look. I see you guys comments, man. I know you guys message me directly, right? Some of you guys out there that are my friends and acquaintances, man, and you guys are worried about some of the stuff I'm doing. And look, dude, I've had people walk away that I considered friends for whatever friendship is online and stuff like that, and I'm fine, bro. At the end of the day, I'm fine. Again, and I'll take it to my faith-based stuff. This is what I want to do, faith-based content on my channel, because that's what I'm into the most. And I've always been into this stuff, guys. I just never felt the need to share it. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. There's a lot of stuff being revealed, at least spiritually, right? Especially as a Christian, you can see it, dude. Signs of the times, as we say. And I'm not saying it's it's Judgment Day, it's the end times like that. But there's a lot of stuff that's referencing that is being revealed, and I think it's being revealed by the Spirit, and it's something that I've been experiencing myself, and something that I've been looking at deeply. Because there's a lot of stuff. Look, dude, if you've been a Christian as long as I have, and you've done Bible study, went to a Christian school, basically my Christian school taught us theology. Right, it was a very hardcore. I hate to use the word hardcore, but it's a very Bible-based, Bible-believing system that the school that I went to and the church that I belonged to. My grandmother raised me that way, and I've never, look, I'm not saying I've been perfect in my life, but I've never really strayed to that point for reasons, right? And a lot of it is just for me personally, God had His hand on me for my entire life. I know I've disappointed Him. I know I've done some bad things in my life, right? Not very proud of. But at the end of the day, dude, I've never strayed that far. And so, but when you're constantly in church and you're constantly reading the Bible, anybody who's a Christian can tell you, man, that God reveals Himself in mysterious ways. And right now, He's showing a lot of people in the world, people that are not Christians, that are becoming Christians, that are becoming saved, that's coming to Jesus, that's understanding what it means with eternity. Whether your circumstances, what's going on in the world, any and all of that kind of stuff. God can use anything, right? But what I am saying is that for somebody like me, right, sometimes you can get jaded, and not jaded as in you want to you ignore it, but then sometimes you just end up going through the motions, right? And sometimes I think God reveals stuff to us to just get us on the right course. And a lot of the stuff I've been studying recently has to do with, like I talked about in a previous video, pre-Diluvian stuff, which I find absolutely fascinating, right? So I'm starting to connect the dots, right? I'm not saying to go out there and believe everything that everybody's talking about because nobody truly knows. There's stuff and I would recommend you listen to the Bible-based things as opposed to the fanciful stuff. But because I already occupy the area of fantasy and science fiction, it's not hard for me to skip over. I've always kind of kept them separate. I like to put stuff in my boxes, but it is bleeding over a little bit, right? And I'm finding it fascinating. But again, if you're gonna do this stuff, especially if you're a brand new Christian, or if you're a person that feels like God's calling you to become a Christian, right? To accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, I highly recommend that you do everything from a Bible-based perspective, right? For a lot of us who have been practicing Christians for a long time, I myself am a Baptist Southern, right? I like to think we're the most hardcore of the denominations when it comes to this stuff. Even though I will say Southern Baptists are kind of losing their way from some of the stuff I'm seeing, and that goes a lot for a lot of Christianity, right? So it's fascinating to me that there's a pushback, right, of people because things are being revealed now, right? There's a God always do. God will never, His word will never disappear. Right? There's a lot of things that the devil does to try and distract you and keep you from the truth, especially when it comes to the word of God, right? And everything God plans, the devil is the enemy of, right? So again, if you're a Bible believing Christian and if you're new to the faith, definitely uh, go by the word of God. That's the best thing that you can do. Right? So that's kind of like a sample of the stuff I want to talk about. But some of the stuff I want to talk about is going to kind of go on the supernatural side. And I don't look at the supernatural as in supernatural of what Hollywood has made supernatural to be, or what fantasy or the fantasy or science fiction realm has become. Science is basically there's people that have taken science to try and replace God. I'm the type of person who believes science actually proves the existence of God. Right? So that's the background I'm going for. So when we talk about certain things, it's not outside of my wheelhouse. On the opposite end, not just a Christian perspective, but kind of on the secular side, right? Because I understand on the secular side, a lot of it has to do with the denial of God, right? Like when I see somebody doing something, let's just say that's space sci-fi opera, right? And a lot of it has to do with them dealing with the unknown universe, other intelligent life, and then something beyond what is out there that paints religion and Christianity in a primitive light, right? That they're looking for the higher consciousness, higher intelligence. There's a lot of this new age stuff, right? That bleeds into science fiction, and so I can see it when I watch this stuff because at the end of the day, when they try and when they try and get an answer, there is no answer. Right? There's only one answer, right? And to get to that answer, you actually have to read the Word of God. You have to be a practicing Christian. You have to do the things that you can be in relationship with God, so God can reveal His Spirit to you, right? Have the Holy Spirit upon you. But when you're looking for answers, and it's more on a secular side, there will be no answers. This is why a lot of times I'm into mythology and stuff like that because to me it's a study of man as opposed to a study of theology. Right? And what's happening on the for a lot of the Christian uh, on the Christian side when it's coming to like aliens, demigods, mythology, and all this kind of stuff is, and it's not marrying it into the Bible, but there's things that the Bible's pointing out to, which actually reinforces the Bible when it comes to idolatry and the studying and the worshiping of false gods. That's playing into that as well. A lot of it has to do with material that's being discussed more that really wasn't done before, which I find fascinating. So again, at the end of the day, when you watch these type of secular type programs, they can't answer the question because it's fault. There's a fault to it already from the jump, right? And the fault is what every culture has known, especially pagan cultures that have created idols and gods to explain certain things. There's a tinge of man that's attached to it, right? And that's always going to be a problem. So again, that's another thing I'll start doing on my channel. I'm trying to wrap this up, guys, because I do want to share something. But don't worry, guys. It'll be predominantly Xbox, especially in 2025. Xbox is going to be lit. It's going to be crazy. Some of the stuff that I'm looking at for 2025, just based on games alone, based on services that they're doing, possibly new hardware coming out or announcements of new hardware. Um, as an Xbox channel, as an Xbox fan, and especially as a consumer, man, you have to keep your finger on the pulse, and that's what we're going to be doing on this channel. And then we'll bring in all the appropriate people to give the discussion. Some of the time we won't agree on everything, which is fine. There's things that I don't agree with some of the guys that come onto the podcast. Great, just give your opinion, right? And let it be known, man. I don't care because at the end of the day, it's not going to change my opinion. I'm just being honest, dude. I consume things in a certain way, and that's how I become comfortable. It takes a lot to kind of take me out of that. right? Because at the end, and then it's just video games, right? So just because I like something doesn't mean you have to like it. Just because you like something doesn't mean I have to like it, right? But 2025 is going to be a huge year for Xbox. I think for me personally, I'm going to have to pull myself back a little bit. I am a avid participator in the console war because I think it's important. I just don't console war to console war, dude. I don't like the hypocrisy, and I base everything on this channel on principle, right? That's the way this channel is. That's the way it's going to continue to be. I don't care that you buy a PlayStation. I don't care that you love your PlayStation games, right? Again, the problem I have is when a lot of people come into our spaces and try and attack or switch up things that we know not to be true when it comes to our own console or even their console, dude. A lot of you guys forget. Most of the guys that I'm in our circle, most of us have been playing games for our entire lives. We're the guys that tried at one point, or at least for me, I'll speak for myself. I'm that guy that tried to give up gaming, and I realized that I wouldn't be able to because I just love it and enjoy it too much. So I just instead of just giving up on it, right? Or like comics and stuff like that, dude. I've either kind of transformed and gone in different directions with it, um, or I've just made it a part of my life. It's been it's become a part of my lifestyle. Is the way I like to put it. Right. That's how I've dealt with all of this stuff. To make those internal changes, right? Because there's things that, there's things in all of our lives that need to be dealt with or that are more important than this game. And I think it's good that people remember that because that'll help you keep it even keel and keep you sensible, right? So that when I get attacked by ponies, I could care less. I'm like, you can't tell me. Or we have some guys that come into the chat, man. They're looking forward, to what's coming on the Switch. They're excited about the Switch too. They're excited about the new PlayStation 6 of it. The possibilities of the games and stuff like that, especially with the games. Right? A lot of people that play PlayStation stuff, they like those single party or AAA type titles, right? Um, and then we got guys that like on the Xbox side. If everybody would stay in their lane, dude, it'd be a lot easier. But again, people don't. And it's look, dude, I'm being 100%. Always gonna keep it 100 on this channel, dude. It tends to be with the PlayStation guys because for some reason they just can't be happy with what they have. Right. Like right now, dude, they have a library of games that they should be playing. Um, maybe not as robust as years before, but they still have games that they can be playing. Right. And they still have the third party stuff, right, that they could be playing or supporting their service of choice, which is the PlayStation Plus or whatever they have over there. Right. But then a lot of times, man, you end up dealing with them on social media, which blows my mind because if I had the time, I would be playing more of my games. Which again is another reason why I want to kind of organize everything on the channel because time is an issue, right? And anybody who owns Xbox knows this. Anybody that has subscribed to Game Pass knows this. Like I said, the game Figment came out, man. I spent at least I say like 4 hours, 3 4 hours on it. Great game, highly recommend. Thinking about picking it up. It's like $14, 14.99. The only thing that might prevent me from picking it up is there's other games that I want to get. But it's definitely again, it's better to have this type of problem than it would be not having anything at all. Right? And like I said on previous videos, man, that's one of the problems I have with Game Pass. Sometimes I wish I weren't interested in the games or there were games that weren't good. But for the most part, man, and again, I realize with myself, I am a gamer, right? I come from that background, so I'm interested in variety of games, right? And sometimes the game doesn't have to have the best graphics. It's the premise, it's the story, it's what they're trying to do. Like I was playing Soul. That's the other game I kicked in. Was playing Soul. It's on Game Pass. It just released a couple weeks ago, right? And I was playing that, dude. Awesome game, looks great, man, dude. I'm old. I am old, man. I was having some trouble, right, going through the screen, man. It's not saying that it's challenging, but there's a way that you have to play that game, dude. And I just don't have the reflexes. Still gonna play it. Still gonna buy it, right? Because I support humble games. Uh, again, like I said before on this channel, it's something I love about Xbox now. They're taking me back to my old school days, my younger days, when I used to focus on the developers, on the people creating the game. Sometimes you focus on the developers, it's bad. The dude from Avowed, perfect example. That dude needs to be quiet and let his game do the talking for him. Get off his little political kick. Maybe do it on your own media profile. Well, even that's bad. Look, dude, if you work for a big corporation and you want to sell stuff, probably best to get off of social media. Just throw that out there, right? But you're getting to know the stuff behind the scenes, and Just like with movies, man. Oh, it's just about a special edition, man. I used to buy the collector's edition. I used to buy, and I'm drawing a blank on the. There's this one collection of movies that you'd always get because they would do the deep dives and the quality, right? And so I kind of want to go back to that. I don't know, entertainment's different from it was years ago, though. I mean, the content that they're putting out probably not as robust as it could be, or not as good as it could be. It is what it is, but that's the way I like to consume my media, all forms, right? And you'll see that on the channel as well. I'm gonna do a video. I'll give you guys my thoughts on Squid Game, and I'm gonna talk about Squid Game, give my thoughts, and then I'll talk around Squid Game because there's a lot of stuff about Squid Game that I think people might be interested to know. Some of it bad, most of it good. At least bad by South Korea standards. If you guys watch K dramas and you keep up with their pop culture, dude, it is crazy. They're definitely a more conservative country than the U.S. has been over the last couple decades, right? And I hope that doesn't change for them, man. I think it's instrumental to their culture at large and their country, right? So let me see. But yeah, dude. So be prepared, man. We're gonna go full steam ahead. And like I'm probably gonna do a video a little bit later. Plan to do a video with Sega Man and Hebot, who are huge Sega fans like I am. Uh, like I said in my previous video, Sega had an outstanding 2024. They've actually been killing it for the last several years, but in 2024, it all came together. Because one of the things is that it's not just about the content that they're putting out, which is solid because it's been solid for years. But what's happened is like the media and the fans, and more importantly, the people that the consumers have rewarded them as such. I don't know what deal they have with Xbox. I know they definitely have a good deal. I think one of the reasons why Sega is able to do some of the stuff that they're doing is because they're getting backing, and I think that backing is coming from Microsoft. Again, speculation, throwing that out there. That's my perspective. That's how I feel because they're going ham right now on everything that they're putting out there. They just released the announcement for Virtual Fighter 4. They even have my boy Yu Suzuki, still my favorite developer. Him and Yuji Naka will always be up there for me. And they brought him back to do a short interview. They're releasing Virtual Fighter, what is it, 6, right? Virtual Fighter 6. And then they released a short video, man, a demo video during CES. And dude, we'll definitely talk about that stuff. That's why I want to do the podcast. We're going to be talking about 2024 for Sega, what we see in 2025, and then what we see as a company as a whole. I'm prepared, man. It's probably going to be a long podcast, man. Both me, Sega Man, we're hardcore Sega fans. And of course, if you add Hebot to the mix, he's not only a hardcore fan, but as we like to call him in the podcast, the gaming historian. He knows a lot about Sega. He knows way more about Sega than I even know. And I thought I was one of the few people, because when I talk to most people, they can't tell you stuff about Sega that I can, right? But when I met Hebot, that all went out the window. And so if you're a Sega fan, man, I highly recommend that you join in. Again, I'm not throwing anything at Xbox and stuff like that. I'm an Xbox fan, dude. I bleed green. But as you guys know, my gamer tag is Sega Forever. And there's a reason why, dude. I've never really left that fandom. I've never really left the Sega camp. That's one of the reasons, man. I'll be honest with you. I forgot who I was talking to, and I exposed myself, man. As Zink likes to say, I caught myself in a lie, dude. I realized that I am a huge Xbox fan, but I'm when it comes to, because I'm a Sega guy, I have a lot of the issues I have with Sony and PlayStation, if I'm being honest, really isn't with Xbox and Sony. It's more like Sega and Sony from back in the day. I still bear those scars, and that's why I always tell you guys I'm a hardcore Sega fan, because that stuff will never go away. It's one of the reasons why I want Xbox to destroy Sony, if I'm being honest. Just let me get into my console war thing here, right? Because of what happened with Sega. And then me and Hebot was talking about that the other day. How the articles are coming out about what Sony actually did, and I don't have to read that article. I already know. I was there when it happened, right? And so was Hebot, and so was Sega Man, right? And all the shady stuff that Sony did. And again, Sony, I used to call them the evil empire, but at the end of the day, Sony just did it because they just thought it was business, good business, whatever put them on top. That's why I've never liked them when in the gaming space. Electronics and stuff like that, that's where I was more afield in, but that's another reason I stepped away from the PlayStation. I didn't like the community, didn't like the way they did business, man, and which is ironic, right? Because it kind of birthed Microsoft, I mean, or Xbox, which now Microsoft is heavily involved in, right? Because they're not going to give up that space, which is good for you guys in 2025 to realize with all the talk going around about Microsoft exiting the business. Now they're definitely going to change it, and we'll have those conversations. I see it happening, right? I can tell right now that some of the stuff that they're doing, right, um, that's stuff that we're going to have to deal with in 2025, right? But still, overall, man, the outlook is super positive. Just on the games alone, the stuff that they're dropping. Um, Shout out to Xbox Central. I love that dude. He does really great videos. Even Xbox Nation, they do great stuff as well. And then you see other people as well talking about things more from a gaming perspective. They don't get no shine because the console war stuff is drama, right? And that's just because you have a big PlayStation fan base that will watch those videos, and that's why they get all the shine. But for us, and that's why some of these guys make the videos like that, dude, just to get those clicks and views. So again, I don't watch any of that stuff. I see it, the clip, and I don't have to, dude. That's why I told you I'm engaged into social media because people will clip it and stuff like that. Now, if you're gonna do that, I usually recommend that you do your research. I don't have to do the research, dude. It's been like this for years. I grew up in this stuff, dude. Especially during the Sega, Sony, Nintendo, when Sega exited the console market, dude. And it has not changed, dude. That's been Sony's MO, and that's Nintendo's business style. In fact, Nintendo has just gotten more hardcore into the way that they do their systems and games, and Sony has doubled down. Unfortunately for Sony, they ran into Microsoft. Right? And again, that's what I was saying on the channel and the podcast, dude. Like Microsoft can do whatever they want to. So for us as Xbox guys who's owned by Microsoft, there's some things you have to be worried about, right? And then we'll talk about that stuff. There's things I want Microsoft to improve on, right? I've been enjoying using cloud gaming. I couldn't do that last year or the year before, 2023. It was very spotty at best. Some games worked, most games didn't. Right? And I'm not even looking at most of the games I play. I can't play on cloud, right? Because of the online component. But the other day, like I said, I played Figment. I didn't have to download it, dude. It was on the cloud. I launched it from the cloud. I played 4 hours. I got disconnected once, but still way better service than I had, like I said, 2 years ago. Like it was not playable at all. And again, I think that's important because one of the issues we have um, with any console actually is just the space on the hard drive, right? And most people would like to download, but you're gonna have to break yourself of that habit, especially if you have Game Pass. You're gonna have to use the cloud, right? Unless you have the time to switch out, dude. I just think it's time lost, time wasted. Because already there's some stuff on cloud you won't be able to play. So the stuff that you can play, I definitely would try. Especially if it's a game you're just trying to try out. Again, Game Pass at the end of the day, it has the demo disc plan of attack. So which I have no problem with. I think it's actually great. It's why I bought. I just one of the reasons why I buy the games that I buy because I get to try them. And I'm not talking about trial like a brief trial, man. I'm talking I play hours on the trials. Like again, Figment played about 4 or 5 hours on it yesterday. Okay. Great game. Love the art style. Love the voicing on it. It's not like you can tell that money is it's an indie title, right? But dude, the guy doing the voicing, man, I gotta give him credit. The people that they got to pick the voicing, they were doing all they could, man. Probably not. They're not auteurs by any stretch of the imagination, but I love that they put their all into it. Love the like I said, love the art style, the graphics, man, the colors, the world that they built around it, and there's a lot of puzzles in there, dude. But the puzzles were they were cool. I really liked it. Because anytime you have a puzzle game and stuff like that, one thing I can't stand about the puzzle game if it doesn't really equate to the actual game or the storyline, it takes me out of it. Right? But this one, it's perfectly done. Very sensible, man. Not too hard, but not too easy as well. One of them, I had to actually look it up online when I was playing it, man, because I was like, I kind of understood what they were trying to say, right? But I'm glad that I went online because it saved me some time. I would eventually have figured it out, but I was really trying to test it out. But everything else, you have to think a little bit, but not too much. Right? So that's the thing I think with puzzle games for most people, and I'll include myself in this group. I don't want to sit there. It's just like this. The reason I don't play Souls games, dude, I don't want to just keep there and die so I can finally get there. Hey, what's up, Global? Yeah, man, it's Friday, bro. I'm off today, so I'm doing this podcast. I want to do something on Squid Game later. Um, but I want to knock this out because I got stuff. I got to go. I actually got to go to the gym, dude. I got to do my stretching and stuff like that. I've gotten lazy over the holidays, and then again, I hurt my leg, so that kind of influenced it now. But I need to get back into the motion. We got a new year coming around. I'm not a resolution type of dude. I do make my little list of stuff sometimes if I need to, the things I need to do to keep focused. But for the most part, man, Like again, that's why I'm doing this video, man, for you guys that are on the channel. Going full steam ahead, dude. And again, man, you guys will notice some changes on it. But the one thing that I wanted to show before we close it out, I think I'll end like with where am I, dude? Where am I? Yeah, dude. These last 10 minutes, dude. I was thinking half an hour, kind of rambled on and stuff like that, but I'm kind of glad I got the information out there for you guys. Kobe says, "Yeah, I need to lose weight." Yeah, dude, I put on too much weight on purpose too. Kobe, I was doing this guy's program or this lady's program to help me with my digestion. And look, dude, the results speak for themselves, man. And I have people telling me, "Look, dude, that's not healthy." I'm like, "Look, bro, I'm at a point now. My doctors can't tell me what's going on. I'm going all over the internet scouring stuff, and I basically have to turn myself into a guinea pig. I don't care about the way I look. I don't care about how it looks to other people because I understand what I'm doing, and I've been this way for years now, man. Because doctors, I mean, and look, dude, Hawaii is in a unique situation, man. If you guys know what's going on with these islands, man, we're losing a lot of people. We're losing a lot of skilled people. We're losing a lot of professional people. Cost of living here is ridiculous. They keep on electing the same stupid people into office, so I can't do anything about it except take care of myself and do what I need to do, right, to make my life better, at least physically, and especially around my health. You know, I want to be around for my kids. Won't be around forever, but my kids are transitioning into their next phase of life, and I want to be there for them because I want to see it and I want to support them. So that's why I do what I do, man. I don't care. Dude, people have told me a lot of stuff my entire life, most of it. Because at the end of the day, right, if you're applying it to yourself, what might work for somebody might not work for you. And again, taking it back to the channel, right, this is what you see in pop culture in general. Sorry about that, guys. Cygnus, news today, Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Nintendo Switch 2 and Xbox 2026. And Halo Master Chief Collection Flight Sim coming to PS5 this year. Oh, yeah, Cygnus. And I saw that as well. Don't care. Don't care. Because I'm not a big Final Fantasy person. Again, if you have a Switch and you like a Switch or Switch 2 and you like the Xbox, and you like Final Fantasy, great for you. Again, Halo Collection, Flight Sim, I don't believe that's gonna happen. Could be wrong. Don't believe it. And again, it's rumors. And then some of the guys that are saying this stuff, dude, it's the same people that always talk about this stuff year in and year out. Right? They're the same guys that panic, right? Saying the Game Pass is gonna be put on multiple consoles. I understand that CES just happened, right? Jason Ronald shared some pretty big news as far as Steam, Xbox OS. That kind of I like that. But then again, right? It depends. Right? It depends on how people are taking the information and how they're disseminating the information, or they're breaking it down. They're taking it in. They're thinking about it, and then how they dispense it out to the gaming community. And for me, a lot of these guys that do that, they have a bias. One, two, when they do it, it's the same thing, right? They never like to me when I look at it, everything is from a Sony PlayStation perspective, right? Because we're hearing all about this stuff, but we barely hear about stuff on PlayStation coming here, right? Because that's not the train of thought of most people. The train of thought of most people is that Xbox is going to die, Game Pass is a failure, Xbox is not going to make any consoles anymore. So naturally, they're going to be they're going to be third party publisher. That's the mentality that's been in the gaming community for years, right? And if you're starting off with that type of mentality, because they've been wrong every step of the way, these guys have been wrong. The 4 games that went over, that's probably about the only thing that they were kind of right about. But even in those, they were wrong about the games, right? So maybe I'll give them a little star for that, right? But when you're starting these conversations with these people and they already have a slant in their thinking, right? Because on the flip side, I could just take their thinking and then apply it to PlayStation, right? And say the same thing on the flip side. So I don't until that happens, dude. I don't care. To be honest with you. Then first month, Marvel Rivals reportedly made 54.5 million on Steam, 27.2 million on PlayStation, 2.7 million on Xbox. Yeah, I know it's huge. I know it's huge, and that's good for that's good if you like the game. Number one, number two, if you're a Marvel fan and you enjoy it. I tend not to look. I'm a little bit too hardcore. Just to let you guys know, I finally watched Sonic 1 and 2, both movies. I had them for the longest time. Was afraid to watch them because I'm a huge Sonic fan. Right? It's just like this Saturday, my Steelers are gonna take over the Ravens because my Steelers got exposed at the end of the season, right? I know they had injuries, man. There's chemistry was an issue and stuff like that. They at least they got into the playoffs. I don't think they were as strong a team, and I'm a huge Steelers fan. I don't think there was a stronger team as some of the fans believe they were, and some of the media believe that they were. And at the end of their schedule, dude, they got exposed, right? So instead of sitting pretty on a bye week, they have to play the Ravens. Of all teams, they have to play the Ravens on Saturday. And then the last game they played the Ravens, they eked out the win. So we're gonna see how it goes this Saturday. It's gonna be on Prime. I get to watch it, right? But that kind of insecurity I'm having about the Steelers' chances this Saturday, right? I put that on the Sonic movie, Sonic 1 and 2, because I am a huge Sonic fan, and I didn't want to see it in video form for them to ruin it. And I'm gonna tell you this, man. I walked away absolutely amazed by both those movies, right? They were able to craft their own story, create it the way that they wanted to create it, and then actually put stuff that Sega fans would actually like it. For me personally, right? And so I enjoyed it a lot. I think they captured the spirit of the Sonic the Hedgehog perfectly. I love the way that they did Tales of Knuckles. Like I said, I watched 1 and 2, and I'm looking forward to watching 3. Unfortunately, it took me so long to watch these 2 movies that I'm probably gonna miss it in the theater. So I'm just gonna wait for it to come home and buy it and then watch it with my kids because we've enjoyed it immensely. What does it say? Then first month Marvel Rivals. Okay. Cygnus, you're weird as F. Oh, that's Kogel. I thought that was Cygnus. It's a Kogel. Cygnus is Cygnus. Sony still has no games. Yeah, Sony's. But, Sony, again, the bias in the media and in the gaming community for Sony. They don't really need no games. But the sad part about it is it needs to be about the games. So if the actual fans of Sony don't care about them not having any games, that overall hurts the industry, which is what I was trying to say on the other podcast. That's why Sony doesn't need to be the de facto. I don't 100% believe that Sony is not. Rivals and Halo Flight Sim, not PS games. Yeah. I mean, after the 4 games Microsoft took over there, with the exception of Sea of Thieves and even Sea of Thieves, I just think it proves the point to Microsoft that there's no sense in taking it over there. They're not going to buy it. They don't. Again, like we say all the time, they don't buy their own games. Why would they take that if they're not buying their own games like Astrobot, right? With all the millions of PlayStation owners, this is a hardware thing that they brag about, their hardware sales. But if you look at how many people actually buy the games, right? And then on top of the fact that they finish the games or not, right? That's not something. If I was Xbox, I wouldn't hang my hat on that at all. All you're gonna do is you're gonna cause strife. Microsoft will cause strife with that decision. PS is becoming irrelevant fast. Yeah, I mean, even Xbox's bad news gets way more coverage than than the good news. But Xbox in general, when it comes to the media, gets way more coverage than Sony, anything Sony does. And so a lot of times, right, because Sony doesn't have anything, a lot of the PlayStation guys will talk about Sony through the lens of Xbox, right? So in other words, for case in point was the DualSense controller, right? They had a DualSense controller, or they had an Xbox controller that looks like a DualSense, but instead of focusing on being an Xbox controller, everything slanted to Xbox is trying to get the DualSense controller. Right? And no Xbox guy wants the DualSense controller. Most Xbox guys, like myself, dude, I don't like the DualSense controller. Again, if I wanted this stuff, I'd own a PlayStation, and you guys know I don't. They will live for people like Cygnus, but will be waiting and paying more. Yeah. Cygnus, when's the next showcase? That's all. Yeah, dude. Even some of their biggest channels on YouTube are begging Sony for something. Bragging about rivals is pathetic. LOL. Yeah. I mean, again, Cygnus. I can just throw out what Satya said: $1 billion franchises. Now, the funny thing about it is, within those fan bases of those franchises, I'll take Overwatch. My daughter, man, she hates all the time. But she loves Overwatch, man. But she can't stand some of the stuff that they're doing. And it's been like that. This is prior to Microsoft, right? One of the biggest things that really pissed off the Overwatch community was that they're supposed to have a story mode, right? Because one of the reasons that people play Overwatch isn't just the multiplayer; they buy into the characters, and that's what makes Overwatch kind of a unique community, as opposed to COD, which is very competitive, right? Around E3 season, Cygnus, did they have one last year during E3? Well, I think they had like some kind of program, right? But it wasn't at E3. You know, it'd be funny. And one thing I want Microsoft to do is they just do E3 themselves. I just invite, like they'll do the E3, right? And they can showcase their studios and then bring in all their partners and then do the ID and Xbox stuff. They could have a full E3. They could do it all themselves. Like I say all the time, they could do multiple programs by themselves. Big B money. Xbox doing so great. I got a ton of games and we eating great with Game Pass. Yeah, man. Hey, what's up, Big B? Big B money, man. Yeah, dude. 2025 is gonna be huge. I got South of Midnight on my radar. I think that's right around the corner. In February, what are we getting in February? Um, Avowed. I know that's unlimited. It's like most anticipated game. I hope I can play it, guys. I'm not able to play uh, Outer Worlds, unfortunately. Like Doom, I'm like Doom Dark Ages. I know that's coming. I hope I can play it. Seems to be a little bit slower than Doom Eternal. And again, it's because I get nauseous, guys, when I play. And it's something with the camera. Like when I was playing Outer Worlds, it's just something about that camera, man. I could not. And I tried, dude. I tried my hardest, man. I even tried to adjust the settings. Didn't help. But yeah, dude. I mean, so South of Midnight is my big game, and then following South of Midnight, the next big game, of course, for me, if you guys know me, is Fable. So Fable Legends, man, that was one of my biggest heartbreaks with the Xbox One. Actually, like that game. I know that they were taking a risk with the way the game was going to be, the play mechanics and stuff like that. But as far as the characters and the demo, man, you hear E-Rock talk about that all the time because I had the demo as well. Absolutely love the characters. In fact, my daughter wanted to cosplay. She's just a little kid. She wanted to do the cosplay of the character, the girl that has the frozen thing. And what it was going to be is there's going to be multiple play on those characters. They're gonna do Fable in that kind of online style and then expand the universe out. I thought the concept and what they're trying to pull off very ambitious. But if they could have pulled it off, it would have been great. And I wanted to be there for that. But at the end of the day, they disbanded. Um, they disbanded the team. So Pogo says nope, but let ponies dream. Pogo not being able to buy Kodokawa shows Sony doesn't give a crap. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah, that's amazing that they're doing that. They're going all in on the anime stuff, which again is their forte, man. I don't. I mean, I can't fault them on that. Yeah, they don't have any money. Yeah, I wanted to play Legends. That was at the time when MS had no idea what to do with Xbox. Well, I mean, they had a plan for Xbox, right? And everybody just turned on them. But I mean, if you flash forward to now, look at everything we have now. So, Cygnus, I'm actually turning in on upcoming Xbox Direct to support Xbox. Yeah, Cygnus, that's cool, dude. Look, dude, you can like I told you, man. I've never like not wanted you on here. I'm just saying, like, I don't believe that Xbox is going to do that. And if they do, we'll address it. We'll definitely address it on this channel. We'll talk about it because it doesn't make sense for me to for them to do that. It doesn't make sense for me for PlayStation to put their games on Xbox. But again, man, I know I'm from that old school, right? So I have an old mentality. Maybe I'm behind the times. Um, but we'll see, man. I like the natural order in gaming as it stands. You want to play God of War by PlayStation. You want to play Xbox. Um, you want to play Halo by an Xbox. You want to play whatever all these PC guys are saying. If you want to play all of them, just get a PC. Well, except I think PlayStation was like years, yeah, before they put their content on there. So that's good, Sickness. Yeah, yeah. I was joking with people online. I guess they didn't like my humor. I was saying that unannounced game will be Steam. Is Microsoft because they said Microsoft will be flying out to the studio, right? Like they're gonna fly out to Valve and buy them. I said that, dude, and this one guy, I don't know. That's why, to me, I was laughing because I was like, oh, dude, I thought, like I said it in his comment section, dude, he got offended, and I was like, okay, dude, all right. I thought you were like, because they have people saying stuff in his comment section all the time, right? And then I guess I went a bridge too far. Of course, the PlayStation guys can say what they want to say, but that was my joke. I joked about, yeah, that unknown is them being Valve and then buying or is flying out to Valve and buying them, and that's how they're gonna get their OS, and that's how they're gonna get their handheld because they're gonna buy they're gonna buy Steam. Dude, and people were just losing their minds. I was like, whatever. And then to rub salt in the wound, I was like, yeah, but it could happen. Because then these guys were like, that would absolutely not happen. Microsoft can't do that. I'm like, Microsoft can do whatever they want to do. They have the money to do it. Now, to their point, like, does Valve want to do that? Right? That, that I get. Signa says, yes, I got the pro greatness. All right, guys, I'm going to switch it up. So I got to wrap it up. But I did want to show you this. A couple things, right? Again, talking about 2025. So if you guys didn't know, right, Xbox sent out another year in review, and I'm sharing this on my. I'm going to share this on my channel because to me this gives me a better look at how I play my games, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm a little bit disappointed with my year in review last year because I thought I played more games, and what I realized after seeing this was they kind of released it a little bit early, right? So they'll probably do it again this year. I'll share those stats, which I think will be better. But this is a better indication of what my gaming is for the year, right? If we're actually running it from January to January, which is what I'm going to do next year, right? This is a better because I was a little. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was a little bit disappointed. I thought I had more hours in and more games played. Because normally this is about the amount of games I play. Because because of Game Pass, I make it a personal point to play a lot of the games in Game Pass. At least give it a chance. Right now, it's been harder. Again, like I talked to you guys about, which is why I'm streamlining this channel because I do want to do videos, but I also want time to play games and then handle everything, the necessities in my life that I need to take care of that are really important, right? But in order to do that, I'm gonna have to streamline some of the way I do things when it comes to the way I consume my games, the way I play my games, and this is a good indicator. That's what I love about this. Again, just going over this year in review. There's my gamer score, 83,000. Just to let you guys know, there's a lot of games I play. Warhammer is a great example. Call of Duty, you'll see that later on the list, that have a lot of replay value. And even the single player games I play have replay value. Right? So I might spend a lot of time as far as hours on the game, but it doesn't reflect in my gamer score because I am not an achievement hunter, guys. I love achievements. I love when it pops up on the screen. I especially love the sound of the diamond, which I do get a lot, which making me think I might have to revamp my friends list. I love all of that, guys, but I do not go out of my way to just come 100% every single achievement. I've done that a couple times in the past. It wasn't fun for me. The couple of the ones that I did enjoy that I did, the only reason I liked it is because I liked how the achievement was done. Like certain times you play a game, and even in the achievements, they'll make reference in the game to the actual game you're playing, or more importantly, a pop culture reference, which I absolutely love. Right, you guys know that Sunset Overdrive is one of my favorite games of all time on the Xbox. And the great thing about Sunset Overdrive is when you die, right? Because when you die, right, there's these you come back to life, and they do a lot of cool ways of bringing you back, and some of it reference has pop culture references in it. So when achievements do that, maybe I'll step aside just to get it, right? Because I just love that. Not it's not even for the sake of the achievement. I'll be honest. And my point is, I'm not an achievement hunter, so I've had people try and use this on me. Also, to let you guys know, Sega Forever wasn't always my um, gamer tag. It was Sega for Life, like from the old WCW days with the Wolfpack, and then they went to NWO. Right? So it was like NWO for life. That's where I had Sega for life. That's how old I am. And so something happened with my account, and I couldn't get it back. Um, and it was probably me, man, because I put something in my system in my hard drive, and it messed up my. Anyway, I lost my account. And but even back then, I wasn't an achievement hunter, but I played a lot more games back then. So it's not indicative. I don't care when people attack me on this. It's not indicative of how I play, and I could care less. I think it's cool, right? I'm not bemoaning it, but it's not my priority. Rewards, see, like you can tell, like 129,000 on rewards, right? That's more of my priority. I like when this thing is bigger, right? And it's this way because I actually buy my games. Right? I'm one of those guys that Sarah Bond talks about. I play the game on Game Pass and I actually buy it. Um, Now, in earnestness, right? Most of the games that I end up buying, um, they're day one games, especially games I like. But the majority of the games I have, dude, I'll end up getting them on sale on various levels, right? Because sometimes you're playing a game or you're busy doing something, and then the game released, right? But you can't get to it, and by the time you get to it, maybe it's like 60% off or maybe 30% off, Right? Like I just bought a bunch of like I just bought a Reload on sale, but I bought the collector's edition, but it saved me like what $20-$30. So I get the digital book. I prefer the physical. I went with the digital. Got everything. Went ham this holiday season. Right? I actually turned in 100 points. That's one of the benefits of doing the rewards, guys, is that you can actually convert it into money. Big time brawler, right? I don't know what that means, but we'll take it. Warhammer 40,000 is still sitting pretty on there. Again, I think my Starfield, I don't know why that's not showing. It should be Warhammer. Sorry about the noise, guys. Warhammer tops. Can you show my hours? Yeah. Gameplay is 96. Love that. As you say, I'm a console only, right? Prefer platform console. Achievements earned plus 333. Very modest. Very modest. Um, Gaming score 0.7340. Busiest month again, still September. But as you can see here, where you play console. Look at that. A console to the core, guys. Console to the core. Cloud, I was proud of my cloud. See, I got 13 hours. Probably going to be increased because I played Figment. And the reason why this is increased is because I'm trying out games from Game Pass on cloud because there's more offerings of those games on cloud, which I think is really good. PC, shameful 26 minutes. But again, you guys know I'm a console guy. I will say this, I am going to up this year. I am going to get down to the nitty gritty, man. There have games that I have. Like I have Age of Empires 2. I mean, we have it in Game Pass, but I actually bought that definitive edition. And I'm actually going to play it on my PC. Strangely enough, it works very well on console. It's awesome. What else we got? So let's see how you stack up. Oh wait, let's look at this. Yeah, this was a breakdown. 42% action adventure. Don't know what that means, dude. Shooters should be the highest because I spend so much time. So maybe some of the shooters are action adventure, but if I'm being honest, the shooters should be top down. Action adventure after role playing. I'm happy with this, dude. I got back into RPGs, a little bit more hardcore. I have a bunch of games, man. I bought what's that game? Sand Lake. Man, there's a new game from Mistwalker I'm gonna pick up. I started playing Persona 3 Reloaded, bought that game. So you're gonna see these stats. Tales of Arise, played that a lot. You're gonna see these stats rise up, man. I want a 40%, 35, 30, 35, 40% uptick on this. Simulation, man, I want at least 15, 20% on this. I think some of the games, man, that I play, they're more sim, but they fall in a different category, which is actually what I think pushed this above every stuff. Like a game like Coral Island and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm all over the place, man. But I mean, I could do better with the representation. So still in the top 3%. I'll take that. Some of the guys on my friends list are pretty hardcore. You guys know T Reaper is one. If I kick T Reaper off my friends list, I'd probably be 1%. But you can't match T, man. I'm gonna try and give him a run for his money this year. So I'm laying down the gauntlet to T Reaper. We'll see T. I want to turn this all into 1%. That'll be a big win for me. I'll never match him on the hours though. So I'll try, man. I'll give it the college try. We'll see. So yeah, as you can see, 345 hours. And the sad thing about it is I stopped playing Wartime because of Call of Duty. 1% in that bad boy. See, only 3%, 3 achievements earned. Now I think it's just for this. I know I got more than +3, but that's in the last time I played. Gamer score +70. I spent a lot of time on the multiplayer, guys, which is what it's made for, which is why I love the game. Call of Duty is up on number 2, as it should be. I'm right. See, look. Right there, dude. This will be easy for me. This will be the number 1 next year, easy. Because they're doing so many good things with Call of Duty, so many things that I like that it outweighs the negative about it. But as you can see, and with all this, I'm only 10%. Because a lot of the guys on my friends list, they're hardcore, and just the community itself. There's guys that play it nonstop, so I'll take this 100%. I even got achievements, which kind of blew me away. This is my last one, or my top one, I guess. See, I love that diamond, though. I love the sound. But look at this community, dude. You can't touch it. See that? You see that, dude? Untouchable, man. I proudly rock this. But this will be number 1 played by next year, guaranteed. And then there's Coral Island, man. This is what I was talking about. To me, it's more of a sim game, but I think it has an action element in it, right? 67 hours, man, and there'll probably be more, but unfortunately, there was a problem with the game, man. You would play the game, and then it would glitch, and then you would lose everything that you worked that whole day, and that was frustrating. I had to drop it. I am gonna buy this though. It's on sale for $23, like $7 off. I will buy it to support Humble Games. and the guys who make this game. This game is awesome, dude. It came to Game Pass. It came to Xbox. It was on PC. But it's an amazing game. It's a great sim game. I'll go back into it. I think there was a patch for it. They should have fixed it. Hopefully they did. Because if they did, I'll be back grinding on this game again. This game is awesome. And then last but not least, you'll see a lot more of the games I played this year, right? So you see the variety. Tales of Horizon on Slime Rancher 2 is awesome. Legend Frontier, awesome game. Overwatch, this was the new release. Diablo, I dropped that off. It's demonic. Trials of Mana, Atlas Fallen. Shout out to Unlimited. He got me hooked on this game. See, and this is what I mean about the other types, right? I love this game. Games like this. Bought Euden Chronicles this past. I thought I bought it. I didn't. One of the few games I finished. Savage Planet is awesome. Indiana Jones is epic. Kunitsugami shows you why Capcom's on the road to recovery. We might even do a podcast about that. Dead Man Diary is awesome, dude. I messed up on this game. I'd have to restart it because I didn't play it right from the beginning. It's one of those games, man. You don't kit yourself out properly, you won't be able to progress. Power World still doing well. This blows my mind. Top game plays, and this is why for Xbox One is because when I had kids, we played it constantly, and I even played with T. But I put so many hours into this game. I don't think this is ever going to change, man. When you have kids and you play, because I like Minecraft by myself. And when I had kids and they started, this was my kids' first introduction to gaming was Minecraft. That's why it's a bazillion-dollar franchise. All right, so let's stop that right there, guys, because it's running long. I know I'm running really long. And I just want to share one more thing. Let me cover this. Gogo, did you get the PS5 Pro? Cygnus says, yeah, I got the Pro greatness. Gogo coming back on him. Sorry. It's called future proofing. Yeah. Saying that you think they're gonna do the 6,000 hours is a lot. Yeah, dude. I wait till next year, bro. This is why I'm doing all of this stuff, dude. I'm gonna streamline everything. It kind of takes the fun out of it. That's why I don't like to do it, but I have to. Right? That's how bad it is, dude. I looked at my games, man. I have 999 games. When I looked at all own games, now some of that, I think we have demos on there, so I'll drop about 50 to 100, so 900 games digitally, most of which I haven't even touched. So I want to work on that this year. I don't play online games. I'm not even subscribed to PS Plus for like a whole decade. Yeah, dude, it's not for everybody. Bro. I've been an online gamer. That's what got me into Xbox. Definitely Halo, but Mech Assault. I was one of those dudes that bought it like from the jump. Bought into it. So Faded Blade, seeing the Trump sentencing. Yeah, it's stupid. Look, dude, it's just like Obi-Wan said to Darth Vader, man. You strike him down, it becomes more powerful. Vader. That's not gonna affect him. And then he sucked all the air in the room by saying he's gonna take over the Panama Canal. That's what he does, man. These guys just don't. This is how bad our media is. They don't know how to react to him. And then other countries as well. They have an overreaction. There's this one news channel I watch, it's from France, and I love watching it because you get an outside perspective. And there's this other media outlet from India that I watch, and their reactions to Trump. I think it's important for people to go outside what we do here, because some of these guys had like the most insane reactions. One guy was like, "Yeah, it's going to be the war," all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, like Russia's knocking on these dudes' backside, right? And they're not even worried about that. But at the end of the day, what ended up happening is once they started thinking about it more, it's like your initial reaction. They started thinking about it more. Then I was making some reasonable points. Right, there's a guy that I watch, man. He's a dude out of Finland, man. He's a cool guy. I love Viking culture and stuff like that. And he was talking about it. Right, he was talking about how because he's from, I believe he's a Dane. Either he's Danish or Finland, or he's Finnish. But that Norwegian blockade. So he was even saying, it's like, yeah, our country. That just shows our country needs to be strong. And I'm like, yeah, bro, you guys need to. Every country should do that. 13 hours cloud game. What game? Gogo. I use that for my I'll just say Game Pass. Just for the simple fact that that's how I like to test out my games. So I don't waste time downloading it. right? And so a lot of times when I play it on the cloud, since my cloud's been working really good, they've done a great job with the cloud service. So like I played Figment before it exited out, and I'll probably buy the game. And I put 4 hours in Figment yesterday, so if you add that to this count, which is probably higher, I played Coral Island. Yeah, I love Coral Island, dude. It's a time suck, but it's fun. It's worth playing, especially when they a lot of sim games do what Coral Island does, but Coral Island just does it better than most. Oh, Slime Rancher, that's a game I really need to play. I barely played it. So I love the first game. The second game came out, and they just took the first game and made it better. And dude, I played Slime Rancher before it was gonna drop out of Game Pass, and then I played it like nonstop. That I just went and bought it because I know I'll go back and play it. But that's the danger of games like Coral Island and Slime Rancher. Now, if I'm just looking to put hours up on the board, then definitely. But there, you get lost in the game, dude. I could lose days just playing those games, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, Tales of Arise is pretty solid, dude. It's pretty solid, dude. And I'll be honest with you, dude. I'm a huge anime fan, so I love the art style. But the gameplay is solid. They say, look, dude, it has that Japanese polish on it. It does get a little bit repetitive, but the way that they're able to, you're able to link into the relationships and stuff is what keeps me going. And then the story I love, as the story's unfolding. I fell off of that already because I started playing the Desert Atlas one. I bought so many JRPGs and haven't finished any of them. Yeah, me too. And I'm gonna buy Melodies of Steel 2. I have one and I haven't finished it, and I'm gonna buy that one. PS Plus isn't bad; it's just bad next to Game Pass. You can get it for good prices. I guess. Yeah. Okay, the last thing, guys, because I know I gotta go. I've been way too long on this, but I do want to do this. And look, I'll be honest with you, man. I really wanted to get this information out there. I think you guys should know and plan accordingly, guys. Seriously. I'm not going to delve too deep into this. As you can see, this is the developer direct. Again, if you guys don't have Xbox Wire, you guys should be on Xbox Wire. Stop listening to all these fake phony guys out there. You want the straight skinny, you go to Xbox Wire. Okay, it's the official licensed news media for Xbox, right? And so you're not going to get all the juicy rumors or the console warning from this kind of stuff. It's just straight up information. Now you can take the information and do what you will, and that's what we're going to do on this channel, right? And so I'm showing you this. Of course, from the beginning of the year, Microsoft already hit the ground running. They're at CES um, this year, and they have some really cool information. Again, I'll talk about it with the guys on the podcast later on this week. They can have their opinions, give my opinions, have them give their opinions. Because I think there's a lot of great information put out there, but more importantly, you can show the presence that Microsoft has or Xbox has across every area of the tech industry, not just the gaming. Right? They're everywhere, man. That booty was what at Nvidia, talking about how Nvidia helps them, right? And I've told you guys should start watching press conference with Satya Nadella. If you guys want the straight up truth of what his purpose is, what he wants to do with the company and Microsoft at large, and their plans for the Xbox, because he puts it out there. And if you guys watch what he says, a lot of the stuff that people are saying, they're gleaning off of things, and also they're injecting their own opinion into it. But if you watch the guy, dude, he's pretty direct about what he's going to do. So a lot of the stuff that Microsoft does, whether you agree or disagree, if you watch what he says, it's a better barometer than what people are putting out there. Because again, it's the slant. That's why I'll keep on doing the all-in rants, and I'll keep doing the media blast, right? Because it's that slant that we need to get beyond. That's why I was so adamant about this on Saturday when I was talking about Microsoft just making everybody bend the knee, so that we can go past this. It's not just about Microsoft dominating, because they already do. They dominate the news cycles. They dominate the gaming space. Everything they do sucks all the air out in the room. And everything that comes from Nintendo and Sony as far as news, there's very few stuff that they have their consoles that come out, stuff like that. But most of that stuff is in light of what Microsoft is doing. So why not just be the top dog right now? Right? And I understand that they have a certain mentality. Again, if you watch Satya, you get his idea of what he's trying to do. This is where all this stuff coming about them going third party. They don't love they don't like their consumers. Right? That's not how they think. They think I'm not saying you're gonna like the way they think, right? But it's best to be honest about it. Look at what they're doing, look at what they're actually saying, and then so that you can adjust yourself accordingly, right? For what you're going to do in the future, right? I know what I'm going to do if certain things happen, right? But we'll talk about that when it happens. I don't want to add any unnecessary fuel to the fire that doesn't need to be there. But as you guys saw, they're going to do the developer direct in January, and I want to highlight this because again, it shows the impact that Xbox has in this industry as a whole. Because are you going to get anything from Nintendo? There's rumors that they're going to do something. Don't know. And is Sony going to do anything? I doubt it, right? Because they don't have anything really to show. Um, and when they do stuff, right, people complain. Um, you have your hardcore Sony guys that they can do no wrong, but there's other people coming out and complaining about it. And then they've been trying to court the PC community somewhat, but they've been lukewarm towards them, and then the PC guys give them the business. Right? So, I mean, are they going to do anything? I doubt it. Right? But for guys like us who are on the Xbox side, as you can see here, January 23rd, I told you guys all this. They could do one every quarter, and for the most part, I think they are, but not like a developer direct. But they could literally do a developer direct every month. Now, could that be overkill? Um, some of you guys might think so. Um, some of you guys might think so. I would enjoy it personally because I do think they have that much content. You don't want the overkill, but I don't think there is an overkill. If you have Game Pass, you see the variety. I think it would be better for them to do that because to do one every month, just because you can spotlight particular games on particular games that are on Xbox that won't get the shine. Right? You saw that with Gamescom this past year, how a lot of people couldn't afford to pay the entry fee on that, and so they built their presentations around the show outside of the actual show, right? And that's kind of I feel bad for them because Gamescom is known as that's where the fans go, right? At least in Europe, right? E3 was actually more of a industry type convention where Gamescom is actually for the fans. So you want to have the fans there, gauge everything, especially if you're a business, right? Especially if you're a small business, that's important. But a lot of them couldn't afford to put their stuff on there, so they built their stuff around. And so I think that's something Microsoft can do um, that could benefit all of their partners when it comes to Game Pass because they're going to continually try to grow Game Pass, which I think is good. Um, and then going on to the rest of the year, like I said, this is just the beginning, January 23rd. But again, like I was saying earlier, this is what I was talking about. And I was on this guy's channel, and I was kind of shocked that people got offended by it because I thought they were a little bit more, middle of the road. But obviously, I hit some nerves. Even some of the Nintendo guys that shocked me, man. Some of those guys were ultra sensitive. I'm like, dude, I'm not even talking about Nintendo. Right? I was actually trying to rib on the PlayStation stuff. Right? But basically, what I said, you see this blank box right here, right? And so you have the guys that they know they're going to be in, and I'm excited for it. Its software going to be there. They're going to show Doom Dark Ages. I expected them to show even more stuff that'll blow people away. Their trailer last E3, the showcase that Xbox did that was normally done in E3 for their what they showed with Doom Dark Ages blew a lot of people away. You can go back on YouTube and watch all the reaction videos. People are hyped for this game. Compulsion Games. There's been a little bit of backlash on the game, but nothing major. I told you guys I keep up with pop culture, so a lot of that's coming from the pop culture side. But from the gaming side, man, a lot of people are high on this game, right? I know I am high on this game because of the developers. Now there are some people sharing stuff about development team not being the same. Whatever, we'll see what goes. But I'm not discounting what they're saying. But the hype for this looks real, man. The game looks solid. Again, the premise of the game, I'm all in on. I want to see that southern mythology being explained, being explored, and how they're going to bring it to. Love the art style. Hopefully, the choppiness doesn't make me dizzy. I don't think it will because I watched Spider-Man. It's getting compared to the Spider-Man cartoon movie that came out, the Miles Morales ones. But this is probably this is the big one that I'm looking for. And then Sandfall, I believe they do 33 Expedition 33. That's those guys, and that's another game on my radar. I think it'll fill the void that was left by Liza P. Liza P. I love the look of the game, love the art style. We'll probably buy it just to support the developer. But the gameplay is actually like a Souls game, and I don't like this kind of games. I might suffer through it just because I want to see the story, and I just love the art and the style. Everything in that game except for the actual gameplay is what I like, which is pretty important, right? But this right here, man, this is where I was pissing people off. And I'll say it on this video, man, just to get a rise out of people. Welcome to my channel 2025. But this is I basically said I just was like, yeah, dude, they're gonna go to Valve. right? Because they're going to fly in and you're going to see their studio, and it's going to be Valve, and Microsoft is going to buy Valve, and then they're going to be talking about the what is that? What's Valve's yeah, I can't think of Valve's the Steam thing, right? What is Valve's handheld console? Dude, why am I drawing a blank on that? Let me look that up, dude. It's driving me nuts. I have to look it up. Valve handheld device. Steam Deck, dude. How did I forget that? Okay, so there's Steam Deck, right? Hold on, let me clear this, guys. So I said that they're gonna go. They're gonna announce that they're gonna buy. They're gonna meet Gabe. That they're gonna buy Valve, and then that Microsoft's handheld is actually the Steam Deck 2, and the OS system that they're working on is actually Steam on Xbox. So I kind of said that kind of facetiously, kind of joke around. Dude, some of the reactions I got, man, people were pissed that I said that. And even the main guy of the channel, he was kind of like, well, what about the competition? And I was like, dude, I don't care about competition, dude. I want Xbox to dominate and own everything. I could care less about that stuff, dude. I'm pro Xbox through and through, right? So I whatever Microsoft can do to get the one up to make everybody bend the knee, I'm all for. But I said it kind of as a joke. Wouldn't it be funny though if that happened? That was the collaboration. Because at the end of the day, Microsoft can buy whatever they want to. For a lot of the stuff that Microsoft wants, it just depends on if the people want to cooperate with Microsoft, that want to go through with that type of deal. Like with Sega, man. Maybe the agreement with Sega isn't that they're going to buy Sega outright, right? But the simple fact that they partner with Sega and they have a beneficial relationship. I would prefer the purchase of, and then moving on, I would like to see them start looking at Capcom. I've been really impressed with what Capcom's been doing lately. Looking forward at the new Street Fighter coming out. Again, Path of the Goddess is an absolutely awesome game that's a throwback for Capcom to their glory days of old. I would like to see more stuff like that, and that happened because Microsoft got involved with that, Phil and Xbox specifically. that game happened, and if you haven't played it, play it on Game Pass. That's probably one of the most beautiful games that they made, one of the most artsy games that they've made, and it has multiple genres of video games within that one game, and they execute it expertly. Right? There's a little bit of everything in that game, and they do it well. And that's the Capcom. That's the Capcom I missed. That's the Capcom of old. And again, I'm looking forward to Street Fighter, man. Fighting games are going to be huge this year, man. It looks like it's going to be a non. Looks like it's going to be above the grain. I'll just put it to you that way. All right, guys. Let me stop this real quick, dude. I am way. Hold on. Stop shooting. Yeah, let's get back to this, guys. Because look, I've been an hour and a half, dude. I didn't want to. I wanted to do half an hour, and I've rambled on for an hour and a half. But thank you guys for being in the chat. Gogo, shout out to you, brother. Faded Blaze, Cygnus, man. Yeah, remember, you're more than welcome here, dude. What else is here, dude? I know my boy was here. Yeah, NWO Prime, brother. Let me know, man. Let me know. I know you can't do the podcast regularly, right? Hey, look into Starlink, bro. Look into Starlink if you want to. I'm gonna start looking into it, man, because I want to get rid of my internet. I keep on paying more and more every year, and I don't feel like it's gotten any better for me. I just pay more just to pay more, covering everybody else. But yeah, that's look into Starlink, brother. But you'll be an honored guest on the podcast, dude. We'll do the Wrecking Crew podcast, dude. We do the All In podcast, bringing that back. That's where we talk about pop culture in general. And then I know you watch wrestling, dude. Look at what happened with WWE. They had a huge night for Raw on Netflix. Now, I don't know if I can watch it, dude. By the time I finish work, it's already done. By the time they air that. So hopefully you can go back and watch it. But also on Netflix, what WWE did is they put their other shows, probably from their WWE Vault, which I think is awesome, dude. They have like the Attitude Era and stuff like that on there. Definitely going to be partaking in that, dude. Netflix is absolutely killing it. Again, I don't agree with everything they do, but they give me what I like. And that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. But thank you guys all for being here. Look forward to my Squid Game. That's probably going to be a long podcast, guys, because I'm sure a lot of stuff about that. But if you're a Squid Game fan and you're also interested in K-pop and K-dramas, we're going to talk about all of that, right? Because that's what I've seen encompassing a lot of the stuff online. It's going to be its own video. If in the podcast people want to talk about it, we can talk about it. If you guys will watch it, please comment in the comment section. but I'm gonna it's gonna be a fully loaded uh, video when it comes to that kind of stuff. Okay, but yeah, but please stay tuned. Looking forward to what's gonna happen on January 20th. And not to get political with you guys, as I have already enough on this podcast. I just want to let you guys where I stand with that. But I'm talking about when it pertains to Xbox, because again, I think a lot of the reasons why Xbox doesn't make the moves that they're making is because they want to see how the political landscape has is gonna work itself out. And I think they're very positive about it personally. Satya Nadella, I told you guys, he was like third in line to congratulate President Trump when President Trump won the presidency. And I know, as you guys know, man, Microsoft um, is one of the reasons I can rock out with them, man. They have their ideology that they believe in, stuff like that, but they don't stuff it down my throat. And they make their decisions. I can choose to participate or not participate on it, right? But I've never been banned for some of my commentary. I've never got anything personal, man. I mean, maybe like with the people that rock out with me, man. Some of them don't anymore because they can't stand my politics. Right? That's fine. But for in the event of Microsoft, I've never gotten any blowback. Nothing's ever happened negatively with them, right? But then when Trump comes into office, man, look, dude, that's just the reality of it. A lot of these guys, dude, if you don't keep up with it, and you guys don't know what was going on with Facebook, right? Facebook basically admitted, right, that they were throttling information when it came to the last election. So Mark Zuckerberg went and talked to Trump. I think one of the reasons why he went and kissed the ring or bent the knee is because there's going to be legal ramifications for that. All this stuff is coming out, and Zuckerberg doesn't want to be on the wrong side of history, and I don't think he wants to be in a jail cell, right? And it has nothing. Some people say, "Well, Trump is strong arming people." No, it has nothing to do with strong arming, dude. And it has nothing to do with revenge, dude. It's about um, it's about this stuff coming to light and nature taking its course and the justice following suit. Right? Because if people have, which I believe, 100%, that they tampered with the election, and he pretty much admitted it, dude. The FBI was throttling all the information that was put on there, which wouldn't have been so bad for the FBI if they were right, right? But 4 years now into all of this stuff, everything they said they either lied about, which I think they lied about. That's my opinion, or they were wrong about, and I mean bad wrong, right? And these are the people that's supposed to be keeping the homeland safe, right? This is why I'm all about what's going on with Doge. They're going to take the FBI to do what the FBI is supposed to do. They're basically federal cops, right? Getting them all out in the field. A lot of these guys are in Washington too much, coming up with these grandiose schemes, which are anti-American and work against the good of the public, right? And so, for me personally, man, a lot of these people are doing that because they don't want to, like Mark Zuckerberg, right? Because they don't want to feel the full force or the brunt of attack when this thing comes back and smacks them in the face. So my point in all of this is this, right? People are lining up. People are looking at the landscape, and they're adjusting accordingly, man. Because look, dude, a lot of these guys are multi-billion-dollar companies. With Microsoft being a trillion-dollar company, and you have to take all of this stuff into consideration, right? When you're moving forward financially, right, and with your future plans. And if you guys didn't know, Satya has already talked about they're going to invest like what 80 billion. The price of what they paid for Activision King Blizzard, they're going to take that money, that amount of money, and they're going to invest it into India and India's infrastructure, predominantly AI, right? And President Modi and was it Prime Minister Modi or President? I think it's President Modi of India and President Trump have a very good relationship. They bridged that gap so much so that Trump is talking about H1 visa, H1B visas, right? Which will favor a lot of people in India, a lot of the workers, especially on the tech side of India. Right? For me, I think they can do both, right? That's why Microsoft Satya is going to India and they're going to build it there, so they can have a two-pronged approach for India. India is one of our biggest allies, especially when it comes to pushback on China. Yeah, Gova says Trump's coming in. Yeah, Jason Ronald talked about it. Gogo. You can see Jason Ronald talked about the Xbox OS, which was interesting to me because it's not PC. It's Xbox OS going to handhelds. That's what they're going to use, which I find interesting because I would have assumed it would be PC type OS for Xbox or PC that aspect of Microsoft. But no, it's Xbox. So everybody's kind of high on that. Again, and then see that's what I'm talking about. People, where was the insiders on this? Nowhere to be found. So that's why they have no credibility with me. Yeah, to your point, Gogo. Yeah, it's going to change everything. And I appreciate that. Look, dude, I want Microsoft to be top dog. I want them to compete with Tencent. And everybody keeps on throwing this stuff at me about, well, Tencent doesn't do games. They just buy shares. Yeah, dude, that's how they're dominating the market. So don't hamstring. I don't honestly don't care that Tencent is doing that, but don't hamstring Microsoft to do what they need to do. Especially since I play Xbox predominantly and I like Game Pass and I like their ecosystem. Let them be themselves. Then let's open it up. Like Satya said, Satya, then let them compete. Right. This whole thing with Microsoft and the thing that goes around with Microsoft, dude. Again, that's a slight on Microsoft. That's almost as bad as the slight on Xbox. Actually, it's worse than the slight on Xbox. I know people that hate Microsoft from back in the Windows, the old days when Bill Gates and that crew was there. When these guys, I mean, a lot of them are retired. I'll be honest with you, man. I haven't seen them in a couple years, but up until the time they retired, man, these dudes hated Microsoft. Everything about it. Right. And so I'm at a point where I don't, let them do what they need to do. Right? Let them be that behemoth that they are. Right? And I hope that they act in kind, man. I would like Microsoft to step up their game. Right. So, get the people that you need to get and do the things that you need to do. That's at the end of the day, that's all I want from them. Right? And then we're moving forward. So again, thank you guys for being here. 2025 is going to be huge, going to be lit. And Xbox Online channel, hosted forever. We out.